6 o'clock. All right, we'll call the meeting to order and we'll start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. Welcome, everybody. Let the record reflect that all members are present. And I will start with 2 board comments. So first one, last meeting we did a closed session. So in there was Dr. Weerkamp Herman, Mr. Lem, Ms. Funk, and all the directors. So we finished doing the goal settings. And we finished with the goal settings for 2 financial goals, all with measures of effectiveness and measures of performance to do it. And then we scheduled a mid-year formative evaluation for February and the end of year summative evaluation in August. And then the second one is, I talk about it most times, but 2 more donations this month for almost $4,000. So thank you to those that donated and keep helping our kids. So that is great. From there, I will take an approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Director Bowman, thank you.
I'll second it.
Director Hackett, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. All right, appreciation, recognition, and presentations.
Here at Hofstad, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Weerkamp, Joel Swenson, high school principal. I am here to recognize the students of the month for the months of September, October, and November at Royalton High School. These students are in the senior class and are voted on by staff for outstanding performance. Those 3 students for the fall are Addison Shainrock, Natasha Ludwig, and Lane Olson. Natasha's playing hockey tonight against Sartell, Sauk Rapids, Sartell. They have a co-op.
So we will take a picture, but we'll wait just 1 minute till they're all complete.
Chair Hofstad, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Weerkamp, Caitlin Arnzen, Activities Director. I am here to recognize Chloe Reedy. She placed 5th, right? Yeah, at the Section 5A cross country meet. And then that qualified her for the state cross country meet, which was about a week later, where she finished 11th and received all state honors. Congratulations.
They're all over there already.
Yeah.
I can always use the steps.
I can too.
That's great.
Or Mary, I get the podium out of there and send it to me. Hello. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Leg.
Recognition of citizens for input purposes. I don't have any sheets. Okay. Board committee reports. We'll start with finance.
Finance meeting was on October 23rd. We have currently 917 students enrolled, and Heidi's going to share with us tonight a presentation about post-secondary enrollment.
Thank you. Policy. So we started out with a whole bunch of new board policies. So the 200 level policies. So Those we all went through and went to second reading. Some of those were ones that we didn't have before and were renumbered. So we're working on those. And then the second and final and the third policy readings are 3-year reviews or statute ones. And then I got the feedback from you guys on the board handbook. So I made a few changes with that in there, and then that'll come next time for approval in December. So that was policy. And then mid-state, we just had our mid-state meeting yesterday. We're still working through a lot of good things over there. The coolest thing though was last time as we were ending the meeting, we were talking about some different things. And like Christine made a really good 10-year plan of what we're doing financially. They're going to start doing that at mid-state for us, which will help us with our budget and do some of that stuff. And then I talked about just recognizing people. So yesterday we got to recognize our first student and our first set of staff members. So that was pretty cool. That hadn't happened since I've been there. So that was a pretty neat thing. And I'll leave it with that. How do you?
Me? Okay, so I just want to remind our community, and I will send a follow-up email that we are getting to that time of year with weather. So we do have e-learning days approved. The first day of inclement weather would be a snow day. We do have the option to call a teacher PD day if it so arises. Try to get notifications out the night before if at all possible. If we do after that first day, we can then call e-learning days. The state approves up to 5 only for inclement weather. And so we'll always try to notify the night before if possible, hopefully by 9 p.m. And then sometimes you might have late starts called in the morning because we just don't know. If it's a morning situation where we don't have time to plan and there was no notice, it would likely be a snow day. If we have notice from the weather service that is likely coming, I will send out communications to families, letting them know that it's a possibility. So just want to remind everyone of that, and I'll send a follow-up email. And we had our strategic planning committee meeting Tuesday night, and we had small group, but more than previous. We had 7 people, and we went through the action steps, and I actually put down some key performance indicators for them so they can see on those action steps, basically, like, for example, number of classes, like the new classes we offered, how many participated, that kind of data. And then they worked in their group and looked at different action steps they think they could either change or take off, delete, and then looked at those strategic priorities to see if we want to reword some of those. Is kind of what the information is coming out from that meeting. So we'll bring that back again in February to talk after I show them the new document based on their feedback. We'll go through that again and then likely send a survey to our families to see what they think. If they want to provide any input that way, since we haven't done that since we first designed it. And then at the February meeting, we'll also do the curriculum review piece where they'll get to look at music, Spanish. What else am I missing, Joe? Diet and health, thank you. So that's what I have.
When is that survey going to go out? Before the February?
No, it would be after so that they can see what they change. They might have more ideas. They might email me ideas between now and February, and they will also help, give some ideas on exactly what you want that survey to say. What information are we trying to glean from people? So we ask the right questions.
Any questions for the superintendent? All right, business manager. Heidi.
Good evening, Chair Hofstad, members of the board, Dr. Christine Werkamp, Heidi Hagen, business manager. This is the November budget update for fiscal year 2025. Similar slides as previous updates. Enrollment for the month of October was sitting at 917. We budgeted 910. We continue to track that monthly. Historical trends of the last 10 years of enrollment, compiling total kindergarten through 12th grade on the far right over the last, as I mentioned, 10 years. We ended the fiscal year 23, which was the 23-24 school year at 907. General fund revenues, this is for month end September data. Overall, it's compared to the prior years on track and as a percentage of the budget, just under 18%. Nothing really to note there. General fund expenditures, again, as compared to previous years and as a percentage of the budget is on track, just over 17%. We are I am continuing to work through our fiscal year 24 audit with our auditors from Brady Martz. We have some revenue yet to tie out and finalize revenue. For the most part, expenses are final with the final overview and review from our auditors. We are looking at the potential to maintain the fund balances as budgeted. Our expenditures may come in over budget. However, our revenue has also come in over budget as it sits preliminarily. The expenditures that are looking to be over budget are costs that we have little to no control over. Special ed services for mid-state, increased costs for serving our students, substitutes, teachers and paraprofessionals, electricity, utilities, things like that, as well as information that we're going to talk about in a little bit, but the cost of post-secondary education and the number of students that have continued to increase in enrollment there. And any questions on the budget presentation before I move on to a quick update on post-secondary? All right, so I shared this with the finance committee at our last meeting. I'm going to come back to the same topic of discussion with some concrete numbers as far as number of students and the cost for those credits, both in fiscal years 24 and what we're projecting for fiscal years 25, but an overall high level of post-secondary enrollment options. Colleges attended by students here in the district include the list there: Alexandria Tech, Bemidji, CLC, Ridgewater, St. Cloud Tech College, and the St. Cloud State University. In addition to, our educators here offer what we call College in the Schools, or CIS classes offered here at Royalton High School. And I won't read the list verbatim there, but you can see options there for students to elect to choose those classes here at the high school and receive college credit. Total RHS students and total credits, and this information I gathered from our high school counselors and staff in the office. Currently 79 students are enrolled in post-secondary, which equates to 510 total credits. We are charged per credit based on contracts with the colleges that students are attending. Any questions?
So I'm assuming we're charged more for those colleges. We're paying out more than we're taking in.
Technically, yes, it just depends on the student and the number of credits they're taking. But if a student is taking what would be considered full-time, yes, we receive on average about between $10,000 and $11,000 in state aid for the student. And if they're taking 15 credits at $300 a credit, what does that equate to? I can't do math in my head, but yeah, 15. Oh, yeah, generally speaking, post-secondary enrollment option costs more than we receive.
Do we pay whether they pass or not?
Yes.
We pay even if they withdraw. So if they withdraw from the class, they keep our money.
So the college has no skin in the game at all? That's awful. That's awful.
Yeah, it's very similar to if I was paying personally and withdrew from a course.
Mhm. Seems like a hostage situation to me.
Anything else?
Any questions for Heidi?
Thank you.
Thank you. Principals report.
Chair Hosted, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Wehrkamp, two quick items. Invite board members to the band concert held on Monday night at 6 o'clock in the South Gym. Concert at 6 and a concert at 7. And then I'd like to recognize Claire Walensky and Joelle Ladon and the teams that did the Veterans Day breakfast here at the high school on Monday. We had our life skills, food classes, cooked the breakfast. They had the commons decorated. We had school going on, so we had kids in the gym and kind of kept them out of that area as much as we could. We had the tables all decorated up, and we had about 45 to 50 veterans that came and had breakfast with us, and then moved over to the elementary school for the Elementary Veterans Day program. But it's something that really a good thing for us to be able to bring those people in and honor them, and to I mean, the very least, we provide them a breakfast and recognize them for their service to the country is a small token of our appreciation. So we're looking forward to doing it again next year, and hopefully grow it and continue to build on it and see if there's ways that we can just make the event more special each year as it goes on. So, any questions? Okay, thank you.
Chair Hofstad, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Werkamp Herman. Couple updates from me. We've had a lot of stuff going on here since our last school board meeting. We had our end of quarter one celebration, so we are more than 25% of the way through the school year on as of November 1st. And we had a bell ringing ceremony there, and get all kids hyped up, send them back to the classrooms. And then they had some grade level games and fun throughout the day as well on that Friday to kind of celebrate their accomplishment there. Our conferences were last Monday and Thursday night, well attended. We had 95% attendance, and a lot of people in and out, so it was good to see. We had our Veterans Day program on Monday, the 11th, and like Mr. Swenson said, it was really well done. Great performances, we had great attendance. I'm just fine tuning how many chairs to put out. First year I put out 200, and we had about half, so we put out 100, and we needed about 25, 30 more chairs. So refine it for next year, but we had a great turnout. Our kids did an amazing job, and they're confident, and they spoke well, and it's just a great event to have. Tomorrow we have our first REDAC training, 6 hours in the elementary school. We got 33 teachers engaging in that. I'll be in there as well all day. But overall, it's been going pretty well. Unit 1 is very theory based. It's very much research based. And then as we get into Unit 2 and subsequent units, it's more applicable to classrooms. They're already progress monitoring. They're already doing the things necessary, but now it's tying everything together, talking and collaborating as a cohort of teachers. So we've got someone coming in live in person. It's not virtual, which is perfect because virtual stuff, it is just not as effective. Coming up here next week, we have American Education Week, where we always invite parents in to come eat with their kids, but this is more of a push to come in and eat with their children during their lunch times. Come on and hang out, even if they don't eat our school breakfast or lunch. Come in and hang out, just to kind of see and visit, and the smiles on the kids' faces it's pretty cool to see. They're super excited. So we'll have a cafeteria full of people here at the elementary or ECC as well as the elementary school, and the PTO is helping with kind of coordinating efforts of collecting money and getting tickets and meals. So great thanks to them for that. Coming up here on December 5th, Thursday, December 5th, we've got our grades 1 through 3 Christmas concert as well. 1:30 show with everybody. We'll bring in over all the other elementary kids. ECC will be in there as well, and then also a 6 p.m. performance as well. So lots of stuff going on. Any questions?
I have one. So you have this big training tomorrow. Within this training, is there a way or a function? Say somebody's struggling with it. Are we gonna be able to help them identify themselves, or
we've really taken a collaborative approach to the asynchronous stuff, the pre-learning.
Yeah,
Unit 1, we've spent Wednesdays in the 2-hour early outs. And the teachers are talking with one another. They're going through it together. Yes, there's modules where you have to click play because it won't let you take the quiz or enter information in until you get to that point. But they're sitting down and doing it together. They're problem solving together. And that's the real component to the learning, is being able to talk with one another rather than sit in your room, close your door, hit play, read the materials.
and be frustrated.
And be frustrated. There's and that's where these live sessions kind of bring everything together.
Okay.
And again, the end result is, as what's mandated, is we want every kid to be able to read.
Yep.
That's our goal.
Mhm.
And this helps us get us on their way.
I was just wondering.
Yeah, no one should be able to go about this alone.
Yeah.
If they do, then they're isolating themselves, and that's not good either.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a heavy lift all year, so. All right,
Thanks, Tony.
Yep.
Athletic director.
Chair Hofstad, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Bergkamp Herman, Kaylin Arnzen, Activities Director. I'm going to give you a little bit of a recap of the fall sports, a little bit of an introduction of our winter sports, and then just a little update on roughly how many people watched our live stream over the fall season. So fall, cross country, you heard how Chloe Reedy did. She was our top performer from the girls' end. Our boys had a really good showing at the section meet as well. We were a very young team, so that's part of learning it and maneuvering through that. When you lose as many seniors as the boys did, it's hard to recruit that back in 1 year. Volleyball made into the semifinals. For their play, they lost to Sauk Center. They had a really good showing. We had several of our girls get named section players of the year, or down this all section team, I should say. And then our Morgan Schultner was the head section coach of the year, and Linda Prom was the assistant section coach of the year for our 6AA. Football ended their season in the semifinals as well. They ended up losing to Kimball, who's now in the playoffs for the state tournament. So. As far as the live streaming, I tried to stream more than just our varsity and JV programs. I branched it out to our C squads, JV football, and junior high events too, if I was able to utilize the cameras, depending on where they're at. And when I looked, there was roughly 1,893 people that watched over the course of the different streams. I didn't see a single one that no one watched it, so at least somebody is taking advantage of it. So I think it's good for our athletes to be able to be more exposed. Our winter seasons are ramping up. Junior high girls actually had a game tonight against Uppsala. They've been going since the 28th of October. Varsity girls, or 9 through 12 girls, started this past Monday. Boys 9 through 12 will start this coming Monday along with wrestling. Girls hockey is in full swing. They have had a couple games. Dance has been going to. They have, I think, a competition this coming weekend. And then junior high boys, they don't start till January. So things are looking good. I'm pretty excited to see how our teams can do in the winter season. Any questions?
I think so.
Thank you.
Thanks, Caitlin. All right, next is a consent agenda. So approval of all items on the consent agenda. We're looking at approval of the regular board meeting minutes, claims, accounts, and financials, Spain trip fundraiser proposals, and then the MOU for Railton Education Minnesota for the READ Act. Does anybody want to make a motion?
so moved.
Thank you, Director Hackett.
Second.
Second by Director Bauman. Thank you. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. All right, next one is canvass returns and declare results of the election. Great. This one is the resolution. Two resolutions. All right. Does somebody want to introduce the resolution of canvassing returns of votes of school district general election?
So.
Director Trout? Thank you. Director Bauman is the second. Thank you. All right. So be it resolved, the School Board of Independent School District 485 as follows. It is hereby found, determined, and declared that the general election of the voters of the district held on November 5th, 2024 was in all respects duly and legally called and held. As specified in the attached abstract, in return of votes cast, a total of 2,299 voters of the district voted at said election on the election of 3 school board members for 4-year term vacancies on the board caused by expiration of term on the first Monday in January next following the general election. And the votes were as follows. So Ellie Holm was 1,231. John Andrews was 834. Ryan Hofstad was 702. Matt Palich was 632. Noel Gerard was 591. Samantha Ricklinger was 484. Susan Leenertz was 349. Jennifer Rand was 224. And there were 21 write-ins. So number 3, Ellie Holm, John Andrews, and Ryan Hofstad, having received the highest number of votes, are elected to 4-year terms beginning the first Monday in January 2025. The school district clerk is hereby authorized to certify the results of the election to the county auditor of each county in which the school district is located in part. And for voting on that, clerk, can you call the roll?
Director Trout?
Aye.
Director Bauman?
Aye.
Director Boyd?
Aye.
Director Roy? Aye. Director Hackett?
Aye.
Director Hofstad?
Aye. All right. Please.
Congratulations.
The second one is resolution authorizing issuance of certificates of election and directing school district clerk to perform other election related duties. Somebody like to move that?
So moved.
All right,
Second.
Director Hackett, thank you. Second, Director Trout. Thank you. All right, whereas the board has canvassed the general election for school board members held on November 14th, 2024. Now therefore be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District number 485, State of Minnesota as follows. The chair and clerk are hereby authorized to execute certificates of election on behalf of the School Board of Independent School District number 485 to the following candidates. A. Ellie Holm, B. John Andrews, and C. Ryan Hofstad, who have received a sufficiently large number of votes to be elected to fill vacancies on the board caused by expiration of term on the first Monday in January next following the election based on the results of the canvass. Number 2, the certificate of election shall be in substantially the form attached hereto. Number 3, after the time for contesting the election has passed and the candidate has filed all campaign financial reports required by Minnesota statutes chapter 211A, the clerk of the school board is hereby directed to deliver the certificates to the persons entitled thereto personally or by certified mail. And number 4, the clerk is hereby directed to enclose with the certificate a form of acceptance of office and oath of office in substantially the form attached hereto. All right, and clerk, can we get a roll call vote for that?
Director Trout?
Aye.
Director Bauman? Aye. Director Boyd?
Aye.
Director Roy? Aye. Director Hackett?
Aye.
Director Hofstad?
Aye. All right, and that motion carries, the resolution carries. All right, and that is, those are the 2, correct?
Yep.
Just want to make sure.
Yep.
About 10 sheets in there, so. So next one is Sourcewell board election for the board of directors. So, as part of your packets, and I know an email was sent out too. So Sourcewell is looking for 2 seats. Would anybody like to, put their name in the hat to sit on the Sourcewell board?
You're not required to have somebody, but you can have someone's
Yep.
choice.
And I think next month, anybody that is on there, I think we'll have to vote as a vote for who we're gonna put on there.
Yeah.
From whoever applies. I'm assuming that means nobody wants to go be on the Sourcewell board. All right, we'll move on that. And then next is discussion of approval of donations by resolution. Somebody like to introduce the acceptance of gifts to the Royalton School District?
Oh,
By Director Bauman, thank you.
I'll second.
Second by Director Trout, thank you. So the Royalton Lions Club has generously donated $1,800 to the Royalton School District to be used towards the elementary school playground replacement project. And the Royals Wrestling Club has generously donated $2,000 to be used towards supplies, materials, and transportation. Conditions of these gifts are in the packet, and be it resolved by the Royalton School Board to gratefully accept these gifts. The motion was seconded by Director Trout, and upon a roll call vote.
Director Chow?
Aye.
Director Bobbin? Aye. Director Boyd?
Aye.
Director Rohr? Aye. Director Hackett?
Aye.
Director Husted?
Aye. All right. Thank you for that. And then policy. So, first reading of, operation of the school board 203, and then second policy reading of 203 and all of those other ones. Those are all brand new to Royalton that we haven't had, or we had one that was named differently. So we're changing it to, follow the format that MSBA has in there. So we still have the same ones, but they're changed around a little bit. And then 806 crisis management's on its 3-year review. So there's nothing big there besides a couple, sub statutes that were on that one. And then the second and final policy reading, was for 613 graduation requirements, 618 assessment of student achievement, and 722 public data request form. And those were all, either regular reviews or, the 3-year, the statute updates for that. So can I get a motion to approve the second and final policy readings for 613, 618, and 722?
So moved.
Director Hackett, thank you.
second.
Director Bauman, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. All right, and approval of third policy reading. So 610 field trips, 705 investments, 708 transportation of non-public school students, and 710 extracurricular transportation. Like I said, those were also statute or 3-year reviews. Would somebody like to make a motion on approving those?
I will.
Director Trout, thank you. I will second that. Any discussion on those? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. All right, upcoming meeting schedule. So we're going to change the policy committee meeting to Wednesday, November 20th at 3 p.m. Because I think it works better for all of our schedules to do that. And then November 25th, finance committee, still good? Okay. And then December 9th is our next meeting for truth and taxation with our regular board meeting. And then we are going to pull both the finance and the policy committees for December. We don't want to do that on Christmas. And policy, I think we're far enough ahead that we'll be, we can skip that meeting for December. And then the same thing we talked about with finance.
Yep.
So anything else before we adjourn? All right, I will take a motion to adjourn at 6:35.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
6:35.
Director Hackett,
Second.
second by Director Bowman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries.
Passes.